well. It's been a while. It's great to get back on the mic with my buddy and talk a little bit of Pittsburgh sports, Western PA.
Who doesn't love Pittsburgh sports? How can you not love Pittsburgh sports? It's got
Ravens
drama.
fans.
I mean, it's got drama. And the Pens, I'm telling you, the Pens can surprise us next year. And we'll get into one of those topics talking about the Pens. I'm sure, though, tonight you're probably very excited to start talking about the Steelers and training camp coming up. Well, training camp has already started, even though really hasn't started. What do they do today? Run? Lift?
Run test.
Run test. So who was the Casey Hampton? Do we want to even guess who the Casey Hampton was on this one who couldn't finish it? Who couldn't finish the run test? I'd have no idea.
Sayamolu.
Ooh.
I think that he went on the injured list already.
Yeah, didn't he hurt his wrist or something already?
Our veteran offensive lineman. Hopefully that's precautionary. But yeah, I wrote a blog post about it today on our site, actually, about optimism. I called it the rising tide. And I'm excited just because, let's start with the running back room. I'm not a Najee Harris fan. You know, no elusiveness, very little speed. He was tough, and he'd get hit, and he could pick up a couple of yards, but I think we're going to be upgraded there. I mean, Caleb Johnson is just, you know, he may not be great this year because he's inexperienced, but I'm going to feel a lot better when we run that sweep and we pitch the ball to him than I did when we did it to Najee. And Kenneth Gainwell's a veteran presence. Jalen Warren, I think, has all the tools, but it's just that he's not going to be an every down back. So I like the situation there, though, between those three guys, because that has to be an upgrade over last year. And you talk about other, you know, parts of the team, defensive line. I don't know if Derek Harmon's going to be a stud or not, but he sure as hell looks like it on film, video, and that's going to spell Cam a little bit. Keanu Benton's a year older. I just think between that and the Yaya Black draft pick, we've got a lot more depth there, and that's going to be really important as you get later in the season. Our bye week's early, so you got to have bodies there when you get later in the season to stop the run. The wide receiver room, you know, I personally feel Metcalf is an upgrade over Pickens, and Roman Wilson's going to get a chance to show what he can do. Jonnu Smith can play outside. I think the wide receiver room is upgraded. And, you know, defensive back, we'll have to see, but, you know, Elliott is really coming into his own, I think, as a leader. And, you know, the other with Ramsey and Slay coming in, I mean, I think you have a chance there for the younger guys like Beanie to not have all that pressure to replace Minka. And then the quarterback room. It's got to be a slight upgrade. I mean, you got Rudolph coming back, who I think is the ideal backup quarterback at this point in his career. And Rodgers, you just got to stay healthy, and you know he's going to make slightly better decisions than Russell Wilson did. So you put all those together, and we still have the same coaching staff, but I think you put all those aspects together, and you got a better team. You got more depth, and you just got a better chance. So I'm playing the optimist, buddy. How about you?
I love it. I love your optimism. I mean, as a Steeler fan and all of us HillbillYinzers out there, we're all hoping something is going to happen in a positive nature. But I'll go back to a couple things. Number one, this is the same team that lost, 5 games in a row? So we've lost 5 games in a row. Everybody, not everybody, a lot of people say that there's been an upgrade. We'll have to see if there's truly been an upgrade to these individual positions that you mentioned. I hear what you're saying, but a lot of it's also going to depend on how good the offensive line is for either time on Rodgers, even though apparently he still has a quick release at the age of 41, and or can those guys with the sweeps get there if the line can't block. That's number one. Number two, defense, I have no idea. Did we get an upgrade with, even though I like the name Yaya Black or Derek Harmon? Probably. Are they going to make a difference their rookie year? I don't know that. Linebackers, you got to think pretty positive about what we have there. In the secondary, I don't know what's going to happen. Do we know what's going to happen? To be honest with you, no. But here's that other kicker that I have challenge with, and you had already mentioned it. It's the same staff. It's the same coaching staff. Same coaching staff that couldn't get it done last year. Same coaching staff this year. And if the coaching staff doesn't remove their cranium from their starfish, then we're doing the same thing over again, right? You know, if they can't get creative and move guys around or not prepare like we're going to do the same thing where just come out and try to beat us and not be strategic, same thing's going to happen. Well, 9-8, 10-7, or maybe 5-12. Who knows? I mean, you as a HillbillYinzer fan, you get to that point where how do you not get excited about it, and at the same time, the fear of it's going to be the same thing again, and nothing's going to change going into 2026, 2027. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I want to be optimistic about it, but I can't tell you. I'd have to wait to see after Justin Fields hurt his toe today, and will he be able to play against the Steelers in Week 1? I don't know.
Facing Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, did Russell Wilson go to the Giants?
He went to the Giants. So Fields with the Jets going up against Rodgers on Week 1, even though Fields hurt himself today. And what, the first?
Who did they sign? They got the guy from Florida State who was with the Browns last year.
Jameis Winston?
Talking about Jameis Winston.
No, actually, what I read.
Or is he in the Giants too?
He might.
He went to one of the New York teams, but anyway.
I think it was the Giants because I think Tyrod Taylor is the guy at the Jets. Another great one, right? Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. I mean, we got to beat the Jets. If we lose to the Jets on opening day, then we are in definite trouble.
Well,
I think we'll beat the Jets. But yeah, I like the cumulative moves that were made. I'm not saying that we're a Super Bowl team, but you know, the obvious holes that were there. You know, the fact that Najee Harris couldn't pick up 3 yards. You know, the fact that George Pickens is just doing all his stuff, you know, all year long. You know, the fact that Fautanu went out early and we didn't even have him, and Broderick Jones was just out of place and just not playing well. All these holes seem to have been kind of filled this year. And, yeah, injury can, of course, put a damper on that. But if everything stays the way it is now, you know, I cannot believe that team's not going to be tough to beat. So I'm fired up about it. We'll see.
Good.
I'm sure in a few weeks we're going to be discovering some deficiencies.
We won't know anything in a few weeks because they probably won't be playing half the guys. It'll be starters. And, you know, it'll come down to Arthur Smith and his offensive scheme. You know, how's he going to run? Is he going to do the same thing? Run for 2 yards, run for 3 yards, 3rd down and 6, incomplete punt. You know, is he going to grow up? And again, I say that unfortunately because he's already been an offensive coordinator in Tennessee and had a couple great years, and he was a head coach. Not everybody gets to be a head coach. Only 32 guys do. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pull it through with Atlanta, and now he's back to being an offensive coordinator for the Steelers, who just simply can't find it since, Ben's last 2 years, and not won a playoff game since, 17, 16? Somewhere around there. I mean, it's like the shades of gray nowadays. I don't know. I can't get excited until probably after the first 2 games to see really what happens. Is the D as tough as they are, and is the offense as good as it could be? Because as you know, the team was good last year. What do we get? What did they do? Was it 10-1, 9-1?
They were 10-3.
10-3. So all of a sudden, in the back half, where they actually were playing tougher teams, you know, they got worn down on defense because the offense couldn't do anything. You know, does that change with Aaron Rodgers? Potentially. DK Metcalf's got to be a slight bit of an upgrade over Pickens. And, you know, everybody keeps dropping about when they're going to get a wide receiver, too. Do you really need a WR2? I mean, you've got Freiermuth now. You got Juno Smith. You got another tight end. I think Washington's there.
Washington.
He's like 7'4", 328. And then you've got no one knows anything about Roman Wilson. He's slightly kind of, I don't want to say he's a joke, but every time the name comes up, people ask about it. It's like he's never even touched the turf in Pittsburgh. And then Calvin Austin. Calvin's going to be fine. I mean, I don't know if you really need to go out and get a WR2 with what they have. And I'm curious to see how he's going to run it. Are we going back to 2 tight end sets? Are we? Maybe. Since he likes to run more, and that's what Tomlin and Bruni always wanted was a run-first type offense. But then again, will the defense be good enough to stop everybody? I don't know. You tell me. You think we can do it?
Yeah, I just like the depth. We didn't really lose much. I mean, Minka is a damn good player. Of course he is. But I think it kind of got tired. Everybody was kind of tired of him. He was probably tired of Pittsburgh. So, bringing Ramsey in, and then Juan Thornhill is kind of coming into his own. I just think they have more guys there now, and that's going to help over the long haul. They're still going to get picked apart, but Alonzo Highsmith and Watt, and I don't know if Derek Harmon and Benton are going to be a better push up the middle, but you got to believe we're going to have a better pass rush, especially early in the season. So that's what's got me excited about it because, they lost their last 5 games of the year last year. It was terrible. It was embarrassing beatdown in the playoffs, but there were reasons for that. The 3 games in 11 days, and then everybody lost confidence in Russell Wilson. I don't care what anybody says. When you do the kind of stupid shit that he was doing, fumbling the ball on the 1-yard line, throwing interceptions inside of our own 25 after we just picked off Lamar Jackson. He turns around and throws an interception on the next play, missing wide open guys. I mean, they lost confidence in him. So not to say that the same thing's going to not happen with Aaron Rodgers this year, but I really like the fresh start there. And I don't know. I just think that the combination of all these things should make us a better, tougher team to beat this year. So that's the reason for my optimism. But our other topic tonight, unfortunately, has no room for optimism, and that's Ben Cherington is going to be allowed to handle the trade deadline for our beloved Pittsburgh Pirates. What do you think about that, buddy?
I have no idea. I am so irritated by this. I mean, he's like a dead man walking. I can't believe that he'll be there at the end of the year. I really can't see it. So what's the point of having him there now? I mean, he went through the draft. He made selections. Right or wrong, don't know. We may never know for at least another 3 years before anything. And now you're going to have him, if he's a dead man walking, play with assets. And he's been terrible with it the last 5 to 6 years. And we're going to let him, or not me, the Pirates organization has let him take a look at trading Mitch. Mitch is like, he's a 3, if not close to a 2. Mitch could be a 2 if he get his head out of his butt and stop throwing freaking home run balls. But he is improved so much, and he's under contract for another 2 to 3 years. This is stupid. There's no way I would get rid of Mitch. Not even close. Not close. I mean, you can get rid of Haney if you want. Falter, I'd even keep Falter because I think he's doing okay. I'm irritated by this. And I know that, you know what, Nutton's going to be there. He's not selling the team. And we all have to get over it. We have to either say we're going to live with this or we're never going to watch another Pirates baseball game again. And I find that so incredibly tough because it's such a beautiful ballpark. I mean, PNC is freaking awesome. And we love the Pirates. I mean, we're all HillbillYinzer Pirates fans. Yes, we can't stand Nutting. He's not selling. He's not. So
it's a big year for him, though, because he thinks he's the Pied Piper with regard to the salary cap structure that's going to maybe force a work stoppage next year in baseball. And, if that happens and there is an actual salary cap structure that comes to Major League Baseball, then you may see him start to spend a little bit. Right now, he doesn't he doesn't do anything. And they've locked up these guys, Mitch Keller, who, yeah, he's come a long way. He's a solid pitcher. He's got 15 quality starts this year.
Yeah.
That's the most in baseball. And then you got I don't know what's going on with Brian Reynolds. I mean, does he have astigmatism? I mean, he swings at balls that are like, there's no way Tony Pena can't hit these things.
He always has a slow start somewhere, but I mean, this is bad.
It's a slow season. Brian Hayes has the most defensive runs saved of any third baseman, probably of all time, but he can't hit. But he locked up all these guys to these really, you got to admit, it's kind contracts for the club, but the guys aren't performing in a cumulative way. Brian Hayes can't hit for power. Brian Reynolds is not doing anything. And Mitch Keller always makes one really bad mistake during the game, and sometimes it costs us, sometimes it doesn't. But he's had a great year. So how can you trade any of these guys? You know what? Who I would trade if they actually had to trade somebody? I mean, I'd probably trade Bednar because he's so hot right now, and somebody needs a closer. I would trade O'Neal Cruz.
Mm-hmm. I'd go with you on that one. I would.
I mean, I'd trade O'Neal Cruz for just somebody who's a baseball player, because
some bubble gum.
I'm so sick of this whole, he showed up to the All-Star game, and they're interviewing him, and he says, that he's going to win the home run hitting contest because BP is his thing. He said the words, Veej. He goes, I love batting practice. Batting practice is my thing. And, yeah, has he made strides in center field? He's not nearly as bad at center field as I thought he was going to be. He does some ridiculous stuff, like he doesn't know what the warning track is. It doesn't warn him of anything. As soon as his feet hit it, he jumps. There's no way he's going to hit the wall and jeopardize his career. And he does stuff like after the ball goes over the fence, he runs up and runs up onto the fence and puts his glove up and shows us all what he could have done if he got there in time. And he wasn't hitting the cutoff man for about 20 games. Now he's at least doing that. But this whole show pony thing, I'm sick of it. It's like, this is baseball. This is not the NBA. This is not the Savannah Bananas. This is Major League Baseball. So we need baseball players. It's different from the other sports. These guys are not premier athletes. They're not freakish athletes like DK Metcalf or George Pickens. You need baseball players. So if they traded him and just got somebody solid, everybody that plays for us in AAA, from Sawinski to poor Matt Gorski, who didn't even get a chance before they released him, the only guy showing any kind of power down there, to Jiwan Bay, who's never gotten a chance to play, even though he's the only guy in our entire organization who's a true leadoff hitter. All of these guys together either have not impressed Donnie or Ben or enough to get a good shot up there, except for Sawinski. They keep giving him a chance, even though he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a freaking boat. And it just, if they would trade O'Neal Cruz for just a solid guy, just an Austin Riley. No, not Riley. What's the guy that? Austin Hayes,
Austin Powers.
I think they could trade him for Austin Powers, and I would be elated. And then, the only other person that I'd be fine with them trading really would be Bednar because, we don't need a closer right now. We're not in a pennant race, and it'd be nice for him to go and be in some high pressure situations and see if he could do it for like one of these contending teams. But
I kind of agree with you.
Hell no.
I kind of agree with you on a lot of things. Number one, I think I go back to agree with you that O'Neal Cruz should have been a right fielder, not a center fielder. I don't think he has the mental capacity to be in a ball game every pitch. He's in and out, so he's not really a good baseball player. This is the point where, you get rid of pretty much everybody except for Gonzalez, Davis, That would be it for me. I mean, if you want to keep IKF, he's kind of like Sammy Khalifa of the '80s. No more, no less. Horowitz can't run out a ground ball. Hayes has been a disappointment. Brian Reynolds has been a disappointment. Not Ryan, but he's probably a disappointment too. O'Neal Cruz is no good, and Tony Pham. I mean, this is
Tommy.
Again, if you're going to lose 60, if you're going to lose 60 games, bring up Bay. I'd love to see Bay in center field. Bring him up. Bring up some of these other guys, and let them play. It's just ridiculous. If you're going to let everybody lose, there's no consistency. How do you lose 3 games to the White Sox, second to worst team in baseball, and then beat the Tigers 3? You're missing something. I don't know what it is.
Well, what about the Mets and the Phillies? And I think we did well against the Brewers. It's like these teams just take us lightly. Does that happen in professional sports these days?
Yeah. Because I think that they're looking at, they're not going to hit off our pitchers, and most of the time we don't, and we end up either winning 2-1, or the occasional Detroit Tigers. But apparently the Tigers are in a batting slump right now, like the worst of the year for them. So we caught them potentially at the right time. We'll beat the Phillies and the Mets, and then we'll go on a 32-game losing streak, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's no leadership. And as much as we all love Kutch, we do. Hey, it's time for Kutch to just kind of ride out into the sunset. It really is. I mean, we love him, but he's not helping this team. You can't help a team that's looking to win 60 games. And give everybody else then a chance to play. Get him. It's Henry Davis. Thank God he's finally getting a chance to play behind the plate. Sorry, but get Bart out. Trade him to somebody else.
Yeah, that's one of the more remarkable things ever is Joey Bart hitting 13, 14 home runs last year, and this year he's got 200 and some plate appearances and 1 home run.
Yeah.
How in the hell?
I'm still irritated with the team about Rodriguez. I mean, I think ND had a great opportunity. They screwed him by throwing him into foul ball, hurts his elbow, and what happens? He gets hurt again. He's probably done, unfortunately, I bet. Not going to be catcher. Is he going to be a Bagwell, right? Was it Bagwell went from behind the home plate to second base?
Jeff Bagwell?
Yeah.
For the Astros?
Yeah.
I think he went to first base. Yeah.
Didn't he go to second base after he was catching for a little bit?
Oh, man, I can't remember.
Yeah. Well,
I know he could hit. But, yeah, they're just so mentally weak, and it drives you insane because, this is our baseball team, and you see so many other teams that we've beat, by the way, the Phillies, the Mets, Yankees. They're so mentally tough, but they understand that it's a marathon, that every night they come out and they bring it, and we just have to watch our guys
just come out.
They don't do that. I mean, they're only competing at that level half the time. It's not just O'Neal Cruz, it's everybody on the team. So, is that Donnie Kelly's fault? Obviously not, because I think he's a really good guy, and he really wants it pretty bad, worse than anybody.
Yeah, but that's the Pirates organization, and because if you're going to get these guys mentally prepared, that's coming up through the system. It's coming up through the system. So what the Buccos did this year is waste another year of everybody's skill set. That's what we just did. We wasted it. Played for 60 wins, 65 wins. Woohoo. It's a shame. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, we'll see the trade deadline's coming up here in a few days, and I just hope, like you, that they don't trade Keller for a Brian Dela Cruz type, because that's gonna kill me. But before we go, let's talk about the prize pack that we have a promo out there for, but let's also talk about our sponsor and this awesome prize pack that we're giving away to one lucky winner here before the beginning of football season, which includes some cool stuff like a 3x5 foot Terrible Towel flag, an actual Terrible Towel, a lanyard, a growler, a hat, and a T.J. Watt jersey. And that's all courtesy of
Crawford's Black and Gold Gift Shop, located in Breezewood, PA, folks. John Crawford has a magnificent shop, again, located in Breezewood, and they have all the trendiest official merchandise from your favorite Steel City teams. Largest selection of Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates gear. Check out crawfordsgiftshop.com when you get a chance, folks, but most importantly, as the G-Man has said, you got to reach out to us to get what? The opportunity of a lifetime with a TJ Watt. Yes, it's unsigned, but still a TJ Watt jersey that is the jersey that he didn't wear, but still the point was he signed a 3-year deal with us for $123 million, and it's a TJ Watt jersey, and you can't go wrong.
Yeah, so you can register for this by simply sending us an email at podcast@HillbillYinzer.com. I have that on the screen currently. And or also liking or following our social media platforms on Instagram, TikTok, or X. If you just follow it, you are eligible, but obviously, if you could give us some information on yourself when you do like the page or like the post, that would be great too, because otherwise we won't know how to get a hold of you if you are selected as the winner. So, yeah, upcoming topics, which I'm really excited to talk about, not only the post-trade deadline for the Buccos, the Steelers season, but we got the Backyard Brawl coming up, which, in my opinion, is going to be the most intriguing one of all time, just because of the stakes and, you know, the coaches and the NIL and transfer portal situation, which essentially allows you to bring completely new teams into the situation.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm sure that McAfee's going to have his show there, and it's going to be an insane atmosphere. And I know I'll be there. You should come down the road, buddy. Tailgate with us. But we'll talk about that game because it's going to be awesome. And we'll also talk about, other college sports for WVU and Pitt coming up in the fall. So that's why we call it Hillbilly Yinzer, because it's not just Pittsburgh sports. It's also Pitt, and it's also the WVU Mountaineers, and everything that revolves around the entire area. And everybody who moved either lives there now or lived there and moved somewhere else. You know, this is your digital platform to talk about these things. And we know there's millions of you out there, so we're going to try to get at least 1 million of you to chime in on this podcast by not too long from now.
Yeah, and send us your topics. If you want us to talk about something in particular, hit us up. We'd love to chat about it.
Same email address, podcast@HillbillYinzer.com. All right, buddy. Well, I guess we'll sync up here pretty soon. We got our trip to Pittsburgh. We got our Halloween trip to Pittsburgh. We got the Backyard Brawl. We got all kinds of fun shit coming up. So I guess I'll catch up with you next week, and appreciate you logging on. Busy man.
This has always been a good time. It's always been fun. It always will be fun. And all you Hillbillyinzers out there, thank you very much for your time tonight.
All right. Later on, y'all.
Checking out.